Hi, my name is Patrick Reagan. Welcome to the software video series where we discuss how to manage browsers and client emails such as Outlook and how to troubleshoot common software problems. In Part 5, Windows Troubleshooting Tools Part 1, the video reviews CompTIA's methodology for troubleshooting and then discusses Event Viewer, Reliability History, Task Manager, Disk Management, checking for disk errors, managing services, and rebooting Windows. For those who are going to take the A+ exam, there are practice questions at the end of the video. If you have not already, subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel. As discussed in previous videos, CompTIA's troubleshooting process consists of 6 steps: identify, establish, test, plan, verify, and document. Identify is to identify the problem, question the user and identify user changes to the computer, and perform backups before making changes if possible. Determine the extent of the problem. Establish is to establish a theory of possible cause. Don't forget to check the obvious. Test the theory to determine cause. If the theory is confirmed, determine the next step to resolve the problem. If the theory is not confirmed, you'll need to establish a new theory or escalate. Establish a plan of action to resolve the problem and implement the solution. Verify full system functionality and, if applicable, implement preventive measures. Lastly, document findings, actions, and outcomes. When troubleshooting, you will first need to verify and identify the actual issue. You also need to understand the scope of the problem, such as does it affect one machine, one site, or everyone. You'll try to duplicate the problem. You'll ask questions to determine when the problem started and what activities led up to the problem. You also need to ask what was changed in the environment. Was anything installed, including hardware, software, add-ins, or updates? Were any configuration changes made? One of the most useful troubleshooting tools is Event Viewer, which is essentially a log viewer. Whenever you have problems, you should look in the Event Viewer to see any errors or warnings that might reveal what the problem is. Event Viewer is an MMC snap-in that enables you to browse and manage event logs. It is included in the Computer Management Console and is included in Administrative Tools as the standalone console. You can also execute the eventvwr.msc command. Windows Logs includes Application, which contains events logged by applications or programs; Security, which contains events such as valid and invalid login attempts and access to the designated objects such as files and folders, printers, and Active Directory objects. By default, the security log is empty until you enable auditing. System contains events logged by Windows system components, including errors displayed by the Windows during boot and errors with services. When you open an event, you'll see the log name, source, event ID, level, user if applicable, log details, date and time, computer, and other information. Source is the software that logged the event, which can be a program name such as SQL Server or a component of a system or of a large program, such as the driver name. Event ID is a number identifying the particular event type. Level is a classification of the event severity. Information indicates that a change in an application or component has occurred, such as an operation was successfully completed, a resource has been created, or a service has started. Warning indicates that an issue has occurred that can impact service or result in a more serious problem if action is not taken. Error indicates that a problem has occurred that might impact functionality that is external to the application or a component that triggered the event. Critical indicates that a failure has occurred from which the application or component that triggered the event cannot automatically recover. Success audit indicates that the exercise of the user right was successful, and failure audit indicates that the exercise of the user right has failed. Success audit and failure audit are found in the security logs. Open an event by double-clicking the event. When looking at the log shown by Event Viewer, you can be overwhelmed by the number of events. Therefore, you need to know how to filter events so that you can focus on specific information. To begin with, you can sort Event Viewer by clicking the column header. For example, by clicking the Date and Time column heading, you can sort the events by date and time. This comes in handy when you know what a problem started at a certain time and you want to view the events that were generated at that time. To reduce the number of items that are displayed, you can use a filter to reduce the number of entries shown. To filter a log, click Action, Filter Current Log. When the Filter Current Log dialog box opens, you can select when the event was logged, the event level, task category, keywords, user, and computers. When I first investigate logs, I will filter to show me critical warnings and errors. Then, if I see something that sticks out, I may filter by event sources or event ID. Many applications might have their own log files, which are typically text files that can be opened with a text editor such as Notepad or any word processing program including Microsoft Word and WordPad. To determine where those files are located, you'll need to review documentation that comes with the program and/or check the vendor website. Use the control panel and settings to see when programs were installed. Use the control panel and settings to see when programs were updated. You can search for and open reliability history, which can give you insight on what might have changed on your computer. Task Manager gives you a quick glance at performance and provides information about programs and processes running on your computer. You can see the status of running programs and of programs that have stopped responding so that you can stop a program running in memory. To start Task Manager, right-click the empty space on the taskbar and choose Task Manager. Or you can open the security menu by pressing Ctrl-Alt-Delete and choose Task Manager. When Task Manager starts, it displays only the running applications. To end a program, you click the application and click the End Task button. The Process tab shows all the processes running in memory and how much processing and memory each process uses. A process is an instance of a program that is being executed. The processes displays applications as designated by apps, background processes, and Windows processes. On the Processes tab, you can perform the following task. To see the processes that use the highest percentage of CPU utilization, click the CPU column header. To stop a process, right-click the process and choose End Task. To jump to the Details tab for a particular process, right-click the process and choose Go to Details. If you want to see the executable that is running the processes, right-click the process and choose Open File Location. The Performance tab displays the amount of CPU usage, physical memory usage, disk usage, Ethernet throughput, and possible GPU usage. For CPU usage, a high percentage indicates that programs or processes are requiring a lot of CPU resources, which can slow your computer. From Task Manager, you can see your processing speed, the number of sockets, the number of cores, number of logical processes, if virtualization is enabled, and the size of the cache. You can also see the total number of processes, threads, handles, and uptime. If the percentage seems frozen at or near 100% all of the time, a program might not be responding, or the computer has too much of a load compared to its resources. The Details tab displays a more detailed look at the processes running on the computer, including the process identification or PID. The PID is composed of a unique number that identifies the process while it is running. If you find that you're having performance problems, you need to increase resources such as adding more memory and additional processors or decrease the workload. Performance, bottlenecks, task manager, and resource monitor were covered in more detail in previous videos. Windows Disk Management is a built-in utility in Microsoft Windows operating systems that allows users to manage disk partitions and volumes on their computer's hard drives or storage devices. Disk management is included as its own MMC console and is part of computer management. It provides a graphical interface for performing various disk-related tasks such as creating, deleting, formatting, resizing, and changing drive letters for partitions. You can also create volume out points and manage disk properties. Windows Disk Management can be a helpful tool for troubleshooting various disk-related issues on your computer. Identify disk and partition configurations, check disk status and health, resolve disk space issues, fixing disk errors and corruption, recover lost or deleted partitions, change drive letters and mount points, and manage disk initialization and conversion. If you suspect disk problems or experience frequent crashes, freezes, or system instability, which could be caused by underlying disk errors or file system corruptions, you should perform one of the following actions. Run the error checking tool for a disk, or run checkdisk/f from an elevated command prompt. The /f option will fix the errors. Without the /f option, it will only scan the disk without fixing the problem. Windows services are a core component of the Microsoft Windows operating system and enable the creation and management of long-running processes. Unlike regular software that is launched by the end user and only runs when the user is logged on, Windows services can start without user intervention and may continue to run long after the user has logged off. The Services Management Console, also known as the Services Snap-in or simply Services, is a Microsoft Management Console or MMC snap-in that provides a graphical interface for managing Windows services on a computer running a Microsoft Windows operating system. It allows users and administrators to view, configure, start, stop, and monitor services installed on the system. Users can start, stop, pause, resume, and restart services directly from the Services console. Users can configure the startup type of services to control how and when they are launched during system startup. The four main startup types are automatic. The service starts automatically when the system boots up. Automatic delay start will start 120 seconds after all other automatic services have started. Manual. The service must be started manually by a user or another service. And disabled. The service is prevented from starting automatically and cannot be started manually. The Logon tab allows you to specify the user account the service can use, which might be different from the logged on user or the default computer account. Other accounts that can be used include the local system account has extensive privilege on the location computer but does not have a password nor a profile of its own. When it tries to access a remote computer, it will present the computer's credentials, computer name, $. Local service account, also known as NT Authority/local service, is a built-in account. It can run services in the background, but has limited access to resources and objects, which helps protect the system if individual services are compromised. No password is required. Network service account, also known as NT Authority/network service, is similar to the local service account. It is geared for networking services. Like the local service account, The network service account can run services in the background, but it helps to protect the computer from compromise. The Services Console allows users to view and manage service dependencies, which are other services or system components that a service relies on to function correctly. Users can identify dependencies, ensure that dependent services are started or stopped in the correct order to prevent service startup failures or errors. Users can configure service recovery actions to specify how the system should respond when a service fails. Recovery options include restarting the service, restarting the computer, running a program or script, or taking no action. These options help ensure service availability and system stability by automatically recovering from service failures. Some common services include DNS client service, which resolves domain names to IP addresses and locally caches this data. DHCP client registers and updates IP addresses and DNS records for the computer. NetLogon service maintains a secure channel between the computer and the domain controller for authenticating users and services. Without this service, the computer may not authenticate users and services, and the domain controller cannot register DNS records. Print Spooler spools print jobs and handles interaction with the printer. Remote desktop services allow users to connect interactively to a remote computer via remote desktop client. Server service provides network resources such as shared folders and printers. Remember, even Windows 10 and 11 clients can provide shared folders and printers to servers and clients. Workstation services allows Windows to access network resources, including shared folders and printers, using the server message block or SMB protocol. Task Scheduler enables a user to configure and schedule automated tasks on the computer. Other troubleshooting tools that may be useful depending on the situation you're investigating include Device Manager and Task Scheduler, which also covered in earlier videos. To make the most of using Task Manager, Event Viewer, and Services, you need to start looking at these utilities and consoles when everything is working fine so that you can see what kind of processes and services are running, how much utilization you're typically using, and what kind of events normal. When you have problems, you'll have an easier time identifying potential problems. A common saying is when in doubt, reboot, which is often used in the context of troubleshooting computer problems or resolving technical issues. Restarting or rebooting a computer can often be a simple and effective solution. Rebooting the computer will clear temporary issues, reinitialize hardware components, drivers and system services, free memory, and complete updates. If a problem persists despite multiple reboots, or if it recurs frequently, it may indicate a more significant underlying issue that requires further investigation. Overall, when in doubt, reboot serves as a reminder to users that restarting the computer can often resolve minor issues quickly and is a good starting point in troubleshooting many technical problems. You should also remind users that they should reboot their computer as part of a regular maintenance. Question: you suspect problems with the boot disk contain some bad sectors. What command would you check the disk without making changes? Answer: run check disk. Question: what is used to view the Windows logs? Answer: Event Viewer. For more information, visit these sites. In summary, when troubleshooting, you will first need to verify, identify the actual issue, and determine if any changes have been made to the system recently. When troubleshooting, you'll first need to verify and identify the actual issue. You can search for an open reliability history, which can give you insight on what might have changed on your computer. Task Manager gives you a quick glance at performance and provides information about programs and processes running on your computer. If you suspect disk problems or experience frequent crashes, freezes, or system instability, which could be caused by underlying disk errors or file system corruption, you should run the error checking tool for a disk or run checkdisk/f from an elevated command prompt. Windows services are a core component of the Microsoft Windows operating system and enable creation and management of long-running processes. A common saying is, when in doubt, reboot, which is often used in the context of troubleshooting computer problems or resolving technical issues. Thank you for watching this video. The next video will be Software Part 6, Windows Troubleshooting Tools Part 2. If you have not already, don't forget to subscribe to the Pat Has Your Back channel. Thank you.